My name is Val Swain, and I'd like to introduce you to Wisdom, a 6-step process of how rangers can communicate and connect with our visitors in wilderness areas. I'm now retired, but I worked in U.S. wilderness areas in Colorado with the U.S. Forest Service, and I developed a program called Wisdom to help our rangers in setting up a 6-step process of how they would communicate with our visitors about taking care of the land. And that wisdom starts out W for where are you coming from? And I felt it was important that all of us as rangers took a minute and really got our head straight as to what we were doing in the backcountry and not bringing any additional baggage from what happened yesterday or whatever, but really take a minute and think, where are you coming from before you begin making a contact with a visitor. The I is to introduce yourself, professionally introduce yourself, because we are in a U.S. Forest Service uniform and we have our name tag, but it's important that we professionally introduce ourselves to our visitor and welcome them to the wilderness area. The third thing is to size up the situation. We get all kinds of encounters with people in the backcountry, some of which might actually be potentially dangerous. So if we're coming into a camp where someone is camped and perhaps illegally camped, before we make a contact, it is terribly important that we use our eyes and ears and size up the situation before we enter someone's camp. The D is decide on a course of action. As a ranger in the backcountry, we had the choice and made the decisions to either write a violation notice, a ticket, if someone was violating a regulation, or to give a verbal warning. And so you would think about what is in violation and does it deserve, is it necessary to give a violation notice, or can you just communicate verbally and give a warning without writing a ticket? Next is to outline and explain the regulation that they might be non-compliance with. For example, a dog off leash or something like that. And we always used authority of the resource when explaining the situation, that it's not because I wear this badge, this Forest Service badge, that you follow the authority of the uniform, but the authority of the resource. The reason why your dog must be on a leash is because a loose dog can in fact chase and harass wildlife. So look at the country around you. This area is full of bighorn sheep and elk and deer and animals that would be harassed by a dog. Therefore, the authority of the resource is what we use to explain why they needed to alter their behavior and think of the resource and how to protect it. And then finally, the M is to make a positive impression. As a ranger, we really have this amazing ability to connect with our visitors and to ask them to join in taking care of the land and complying with the regulations. And if you do your job and you do it well, you can leave a positive impression, to the point that I've had many people actually shake my hand and thank me for informing them of what they might not, what they were doing, that in second consideration they would say, well, yeah, you're right, I shouldn't be doing that. Make a positive impression. Thank you.